This video will walk you through controlling speed on your E-BikeKit system. There's several different ways to control speed, and you can follow along with some of the settings by opening your manual to page 14, where we go over the detailed settings, or by opening your Quick Start Guide, which shows you some of the settings there. Your primary methods of controlling speed are going to be by using the throttle, which is a variable throttle. So if you turn it a little bit, you get a little bit of speed. If you turn the throttle more, you get more speed. If you turn it all the way, you get even more. The other primary way will be with the pedal assist sensor if you have it attached. The faster you pedal, higher cadence, more speed from the motor. Now, to control the throttle and PAS response, you also have your assist level selector down here. You can see we started off on 1, which is where the screen starts when you first turn it on, but it goes up to 5 by default. And this lets you fine-tune your speed. You'll note that you can change this setting while the PAS or throttle is engaged. You can turn the assist level selector up or down in order to increase its response. And even with it turned up, both the PAS and the throttle are still variable. So more throttle or faster pedaling still increases or decreases your speed. So that's the assist level selector. Aside from that, there's some ways to limit your maximum power or your maximum speed and to control your assist level selector further. We can get to those in the settings menu by pressing and holding the up and down arrows for 3 seconds. This opens your menu. You advance to the next menu option by pressing the M button 1 time. Here you'll see the first setting that you'll want to think about if you need to control your speed. ST2 is your speed limit. This is a governor. It determines the maximum speed that the motor can run at. So even if your throttle is at maximum, your assist level selector is at maximum, you're pedaling at the maximum cadence, that kind of thing, you can never go faster on motor power than 50 kilometers an hour in this case. If we wanted to go slower, we could turn this down. For reference, 50 kilometers an hour is about 31 miles per hour. We can turn this down to 40 if we want. We can turn it down even lower in order to get a lower maximum speed. The next setting that we'll want to take a look at is here in ST7. This is your current limit for the controller. If we wanted a lower maximum power, we could turn this current all the way down to, for instance, 20 amps or 6 amps. This will affect your hill climbing ability in addition to your speed, since it's a current setting. So this will reduce the overall wattage of the system. It can be helpful if you need to go slower and have lower power though. The next thing that can affect this is the PAS settings. If you wanted to, for instance, lower the response of the PAS relative to the throttle or increase the response of the PAS relative to the throttle, you would go through some settings in here. Roughly what you would want to look at is P3. Lower numbers of P3 will give you higher response from the PAS. Higher numbers of P3 will give you lower response. So let's say that you wanted the motor to respond just a bit when you're pedaling, but mostly depend on the throttle. You could turn this up maybe in the 8 or 9 or 10 range. If you wanted the PAS to respond quite a bit when you pedal, you could lower this number down quite low. And once you've got through each of those, there's one more setting. I'm just going to hit M until we loop back to the beginning. And this is the setting that really controls them all. This is the number of gradations that you get in your PAS selector. So you see our default is 0 to 5. We could change it to 1 to 3 or 0 to 3. And this doesn't decrease your overall assist setting. It just controls the number of wedges that you get in there to fine-tune the selection. So let's say we set it on 0 to 9 or 1 to 9. That would mean that we would have 9 levels to fine-tune. So it would be much finer controlled than, for instance, 5 or 3 levels. And the 0 selection, I'll show you that, allows you to turn everything off. So if you wanted to disable throttle and PAS as you're pedaling along for any reason, but leave the screen on, if you put it on 0, now there's no response. We go up to 9, and we have full response again. And of course, you can still control this as you have the throttle or PAS engaged. You don't need to stop pedaling or let go of the throttle to turn it up or down. So we go down to 1 and all the way down to 0, and it stops. And keep in mind that this assist level selector is controlling your power in addition to your speed. So you may want to turn it back up to full when you have a steep hill, even if you have it turned down, in order to control your speed on the flats as you go.